Peace to the planet Earth. What's good with the good world today? It's Saturday. We had to hop up here. Just have a quick conversation, man. First and foremost, shout out to everybody that's on the platform. We reached 1K subscribers or 1K community members on a Facebook page, which is amazing. Shout out to everybody that's engaging in the posts and doing what they do on B100 TV. Of course, shout out to everybody that's just growing all of the platforms. Can't do it without you guys. Shout out to what's going on, y'all? What's going on, Brian, Sabir, Willie? What's going on? Brother Willie will be up here Friday at 6 p.m., y'all, from RIHD. Definitely want to get up there for the second interview or part two. Shout out to Ignite Justice, Jennifer and Emily, all the good people over there. And of course, if you want to connect with me down here in Georgia, because a couple people have been asking, I'm working with Ignite Justice. You can email me at CWILLARS at Ignite Justice or at -ignitejustice.org. I'll put it right there in the chat. What's going on? Peace and blessings, brother Willie. I got the Facebook up. We're on IG. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere. And yeah, we're getting into it, man. First and foremost, what I really wanted to get into and hop up here today. Shout out to everybody that's been checking on me and mine. First and foremost, I gotta say that. Thank you for the people that check in on me and my wife. People know a little bit about what we're going through. She'll be up here tomorrow. She wants to get up here tomorrow. I didn't ask her to. I thought she was more chill, but she wants to get up here tomorrow for Love vs. Prison at 6 p.m. So we're gonna do that. She's gonna talk about some things. I'm gonna talk about some things. But for the people that know the importance and the value of checking on your people, salute to you. Not just with us. I'm just talking about anybody that understands that. Texting people, sending a call. You know what I'm saying? Just reaching out with right intentions, man. Peace. Oh, so what up? And really just doing that. You know what I'm saying? The simple things, because you don't know when it's needed. You don't know the impact of your words. So to anybody that we didn't get back to or anything like that, it's definitely not personal, man. We're trying to work, stay productive because life doesn't stop. And appreciate that, man. I already know, Brian. But at the same time, we taking the opportunity to breathe when we can, right? Other than that, May 7th, Browns Park, Yorktown, VA, the Youth Our Future Day. You can visit www.youthourfuture.com to learn more about the event. Shout out to my brother, Jefferson Ellie, Free Jefferson Ellie, man. If you got a loved one that you want to see come home, that you're advocating for, that you're fighting for, etc., put them in the chats. But Free Jefferson Ellie started a nonprofit called the Youth Our Future, the We God. But he's also a published author that published a book called The Youth Our Future. And at this Youth Our Future Day, sponsored by We God, his nonprofit organization, will be giving away books, gift certificates, food. There's going to be a TikTok booth or something like that. There's going to be pictures of DJ. There's going to be the good brother Flake there teaching boxing lessons to the youth. There's going to be a lot of good stuff going on. So if you're in Tidewater, you're in VA, you definitely want to check that out. May 7th, it's on a Sunday. I think it's like 1 to 5, Browns Park. Hopefully I'll be able to be out there. Somebody put wellness checks should be made a policy within our community and family structure, especially our youth. Yes, brother Willie, I agree 100%, especially now. Mental health issues are on the rise. That's why I put mental health in the chat. I want to just get up here and do a mental health check with y'all. And just stress the importance of taking the time to breathe. I think people are trying. I had a conversation with the good brother Ambo. He's like, man, I don't know how you guys do it. And I said, man, we just take the opportunity to breathe when we can breathe. And to my brothers and my sisters coming home from incarceration, I know without a doubt what your family and friends might not know. And I know that if you've been locked up for a little bit, you weren't prepared for the hits that were going to come in life because we were in a controlled environment. So I'm definitely doing that now at my breaking point almost. I see you, bro. I'm here, man. You got to come through, man. Gotta come through. But that's another good reason why you gotta check on your people and be present with your people. And get out of the same environments. Cause sometimes you gotta switch the energy up, right? But I take the opportunity to breathe when I can. I tell my loved ones take the opportunity to breathe when I can. I've taken some major hits, but I went on a path to heal. I definitely went on a path. I talk about therapy, but I did some other. Went and got some brain training done, which I'll talk about one day up here. I went and got different things done, and I've also done other things because I know, and I had to come into the understanding that hits were gonna come. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we do not think about that part. We don't think about the hits that are gonna. We think that when the prison bit is over, that life is gonna get easier, and then we find out that we're wrong. It was hard in prison. Don't get me wrong. Prison life is not easy. It's not easy, but let me tell you, you don't have to worry about certain things in prison. Out here, you got to worry about the same things you had to worry about in prison for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Just moderated in different ways, plus a million other problems. Not to mention that society is just it's crazy out here, man. Everything is negative. So when things hit, because they are gonna hit, what you can hope for is that you've healed enough, or you've given yourself enough time to breathe, and you didn't allow everything to pile up. So then when that one hit comes, you don't just crumble. I've seen people crumble, and I almost crumbled. You know what I'm saying? I talked about that. I got up here and I spoke about that and what happened. And I basically I allowed all the stuff to pile up. I came home from prison. I'm a leader, amongst my people, my family, whatever. And I'm sitting here. I don't want to tell people, hey, I need help with this or that. I'm allowing myself to be stretched and pulled in all these directions because I had been gone for so long. Then I'm trying to adjust to society. Then I'm taking the hits out here. Man, I had to learn how to just slow down and breathe for a second. It's imperative that you do that. You're seeing people crash out. You're seeing people get into situations where, it was a minor situation, and it turned into a major situation. I seen a video earlier popped up on my feed on YouTube, and it was a guy that got into an argument at a club, and it ended up turning into a shootout. And I just think about how many times that happens, how many times that's going to happen tonight, and how many times the individual could have just walked away, but emotions or liquor or whatever, and that's what's going on. You've got to stay on point. Life is about percentage, especially when you're coming home, because you don't know how to adjust necessarily or adapt to what's going on, what's going to come, right? You don't know how you're going to respond to that first flat tire after you've been locked up for 12 years. Because let me tell you something, my first flat tire, I was panicking. I was on my way to work. I didn't want to be late. I think I was only like the third weekend. Hadn't had a flat tire in 17 years. I've been gone forever. So the way you take certain things could be different. It could be worse. You know what I'm saying? It could be, it just depends on where you're at with it. Some people come home, they don't have any issues transitioning back into society. Cool hand loop, everything's good, right? But in some of us, we come home, man, and whatever, the world falls out, or we lose a job, we don't know how to respond to that, or we get into a bad relationship and we don't know how to get out of that, or we get into a job that we get into, you know what I'm saying? Just different things, and some of we allow things to spiral out of control. That anxiety, that depression, that anger, all those things that sometimes we come home with, we put it, because here's what happens, right? If you've been locked up, you sit here and you say to yourself, when my release date comes and I put these clothes on, I walk out the gate, everything that I felt is magically going to go away. I'm going to smile. It's going to be great. And don't get me wrong, it feels great. That adrenaline rush kicks in. You put those clothes on. You walk out the door. You feeling good. In my video, I wasn't even smiling. I think I was still in shock or tired or whatever. But nonetheless, you're happy. You forget about everything for a moment. But let me tell you something. After that honeymoon phase wears off, and you've been out here a while, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a week, maybe two, maybe a couple months. I don't know. Reality starts kicking in. Everybody, shout out to everybody that's in the chat commenting back and forth, man. I see Willie, I see Emily. I'm missing some people, man. But when reality starts setting in, that's when you start to understand where you're at. I get up here, I talk about emotional intelligence. I constantly preach that. You got to know where you're at with certain things. You got to know where you're at. In order to be honest with yourself, I think matter of fact, in order to be honest with yourself, I think the best statement you can ever make, a lot of times when somebody asks you how you think you're going to respond to something, if you haven't, and quite sometimes, I don't know. I was the guy, when I came home, I was like, oh, this isn't going to bother me. And man, I went to my first job interview and bombed it because I almost crashed the forklift, I think, something like that. Yeah. I see if I ask my wife tomorrow when we're up here. And again, that was a moment for me. You know, having to learn how to drive. I remember when my wife was like, yo, I got to go back to work. I can't keep going with you. You got your license. You're going to have to drive. Yo, most people would have probably been like, yeah, I'm home. I get dropped. Me, man, it was a whole thing. Anxiety. So healing is important, man. I'm telling you. And I'm grateful. Even like now with this major hit, it hurts. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a pain attached to it, a dull ache, I guess, for quite some time. And hopefully it goes away. But I took the time to heal. I went on a healing journey before this came. I'm grateful for that. So anybody that knows something's up with them, you know what I'm saying? If you got racing thought, people been hitting me up talking about they can't sleep. You know, and I'm not putting anybody, it's because it's multiple people and I can relate to it. But if you can't sleep, if you got racing thoughts, you know, if you just find yourself agitated and nitpicking and you know, you find yourself getting into that, man, hey, get some self-care. Get a breather, man. Get things back into perspective and understand where you at. Because you're on this side of things now. Speaking of being real with yourself before you can be, you know, do anything else or be real with anybody else, I guess, is the relationship aspect. I was having a conversation with a couple of good people earlier about relationships and the prison relationship thing. And I was just telling my standpoint from the male perspective, me coming home from prison married. You know, I didn't really get into all of it, you know, the way that I wanted to get into it, and I will, but essentially, it's just as much when you get married in prison, it's just as much as a big leap for the person that's coming home from prison that for me, in my opinion, than it is for the person that's waiting. Some of y'all might not agree with that statement. But in my situation, I married a woman. I hadn't been home for 17 years. I married a woman. Yeah, we built up a rapport, a relationship, but I was coming basically straight to Georgia, to her territories, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Her neck of the woods. It was a big leap. But I'm saying all that to say, even if you think you know the person that you're with, you don't know the person. And it's not anybody's fault, but you haven't experienced each other around each other. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know a person's work ethic for real. Everything is words. You don't know how a person keeps it. You don't know if they're clean. You don't know if they practice good hygiene. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You don't know if they wake up in the morning and make the bed. You just don't know until you get there. You don't know how they're going to respond when it comes to spending money, when they get paid on Fridays. A lot of relationships don't last because of that, financial issues. You got to be in a place where you know for a fact that this is the person that you're going to be with. And when it comes to these types of relationships, or a lot of times marriages, because a lot of times people like myself, we end up getting married while in prison and coming home. Sometimes they work out, but a lot of times they don't because people simply did not know each other. They painted a picture based on, you know, desire, you know, probably good intent a lot of times, when with not including the guys that are out there to manipulate, and the women too. You know, it's manipulation on both sides. But not without with everybody, but I'm just saying with the negative percentage. But even with the good people with good intent, I remember telling my wife certain things like, hey, I'm going to do this, and this was my intent, and I believed that until I came home and the world fell out and the pandemic was here and I couldn't keep certain promises and all that. It's just you envision certain things. We would talk on the phone for hours, you know what I'm saying? We would talk and I was one of the phone guys. And this it's gonna be like this when we get home and da 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 da. We gonna no, nothing like that. We had to go through our growing pains. We had to go through certain situations. We had to really figure out, did we want to keep going forward at one point? Because we came to the realization where I remember we had a conversation. We was like, yo, we really don't know each other. Like, to be honest, we knew each other, but we didn't know each other because it's a different version. You got me coming home from prison incarceration, like a lot of people. We don't know who we are yet. We know who we are, but we don't know how we're going to be shaped by the experiences that we're going to start living once we get home. Because it's different. When you're speaking from incarceration and you're experiencing the same things over and over again and nothing different, it's like your conversation's limited, your thoughts are limited, your vision. You see things in the outside world, don't get me wrong, but you're not experiencing it. You know what I'm saying? You can only eat certain foods. You can only see past a certain distance, past the fence. You were limited. But when you come home, now you're not. Now you got options. Now you're really gonna find out if you're gonna be a faithful individual. Now you're really gonna find out if you really want to be home every night and you don't really want to go out every night. You're gonna find out certain things about yourself. And you hope that the person that you're with allows you the opportunity to grow. But a lot of times you've already made promises. So the expectations begin to drop. The expectations begin to go away. Shout out to everybody that just hopped. Oh, shout out to Mika Meek. But the expectations are set. So then you let people down, and then we run into these problems. I think it's real if you're dealing with somebody that's incarcerated and vice versa. If you're incarcerated, you're dealing with somebody on the outside. You have to be real. You have to be transparent. You can't be afraid to hurt their feelings. And when I say that, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just mean sometimes the truth hurts, right? You can't be scared to just be who you are. You've got to communicate your needs, your desires, everything, because these relationships that start when one person's behind the wall and the other, it's not no short-term stuff, man. There's always long-term promises attached to it for the most part. So you got to make sure that you know who you with. And here's another thing, y'all. Because one of the main reasons people get locked back up, recidivism, etc., is domestics, etc. Right, you can't sugarcoat anything. Because domestics are on the rise and people are getting violated, guys are getting violated. If you feel like you're with somebody and there's red flags and it's not working, you guys can't communicate, get out. Don't allow yourself to be in a situation that might trick you up. You guys can be arguing, and raising your voices, and the neighbors could call the police, and now you got contact with the police. You know what I'm saying? Don't overcommit too early. Don't set the expectations so high. If you meet somebody that you rocking with, I'm not gonna tell you don't go. If it's love, it's love. You know what I'm saying? If it's real, it's real. Who am I? But I'm just saying, at the same time, you got an opportunity just to be friends and see where each other's gonna be at 90 days after you've been home, or do that. Because if you're gonna be together, you're gonna be together. There's no need to put a title on or nothing like that. Me and my wife even said if we can go back, we probably would wait. But we got married because I wanted to come straight here. And yeah, I think I pulled it up, but you can't sugarcoat anything. Like we were saying, you got to be not brutally honest, but you got to be truthful. And here's the thing: you want to be with somebody that you can be truthful with. That's in any relationship. That's in any situation. If I can't be truthful with you, there's no need for us to be together. There's no need for us to coincide. There's no need for us to try to build anything, or any of that. It just isn't. I don't want to be with somebody that I feel like I gotta wear a mask. I got a buddy of mine. Excuse me. His wife, they're married. He was locked up for quite some time. But his wife doesn't even like him posting about the fact he was in prison. And I get it. I'm not going to say it's something, somebody should run around bragging about or whatever, but he's proud of it. You know what I'm saying? He wears it as a badge, not to say he's proud he went to prison, but to say he's proud he survived it. And he's got a problem with it. I'm glad I'm with somebody I can be who I am. You know what I'm saying? I can express whatever thought I feel. If I want to talk about being in prison, right, whatever it is, like I'm supported. It is what it is, and that's who you want to be. You don't want to be with somebody that is controlling. I've been in a situation, man. I done walked outside with one of my homeboys. He done came down, drove down. Everybody comes to Atlanta. We standing out by the car just chopping it up. He ain't been out the house or the Airbnb for 5 minutes. His old lady called him, you know what I'm saying, his significant other. But I mean, I get it. You know, where you at? Where you at? I couldn't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife. She's not like that. I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll shoot you a text or something, you know what I mean? Check on you. We let each other know where we're going, all that, but we're not trying to be each other's wardens. We're not locking each other down. We do work on trust. If you're with somebody, you have to be with somebody that there's trust. Let me tell you something. If you see trust issues right now, prior to your significant other coming home, just be on point, man. That's all I'm gonna say. What's going on, Gidget? Trust issues are real. It is what it is, right? Um, for me, it's a red flag. I want to be able to be trusted wherever I go. I don't, it's a joke for me because my wife's got the code to my phone, and half the time she's got my phone or whatever. But for everybody, it's not like that. Some people want boundaries, whatever. Some people want freedom. Some people, whatever. People want what they want, but for me, I want peace of mind. I don't want drama. I don't want somebody that's speculating. I don't want somebody that's, trying to go through my stuff. No, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want any of that. I live how I live. You know what I'm saying? I try to live to the best of my ability, to stand up guy. You know what I'm saying? As one of my neighbors say, I'm home every night before the lights come on. But still, even with that, you know what I'm saying? I think it's important that when you're with somebody, like right now, she's up front watching TV. I'm back here chilling. We give each other space. We don't have to be up underneath each other. Just different things, man. Relationships, it's not, I think sometimes we take them too light. You know what I'm saying? And with the prison thing, my biggest fear for the prison relationship thing is a lot of times it's lonely people on both sides, because we're lonely in prison too, which makes us vulnerable because we want affection or we want companionship or whatever. And so those a lot of times are the wrong reasons to get with a person. We should be getting with people because they make us laugh. They give us peace. They teach us things. That's one of the first things I fell in love with about my wife. She taught me things, but because it can't be about emotion. It can't be about good feelings, because eventually the good feelings go away. So Gidget said, my husband is my best friend. He knows everything about me. I don't hide it. Yeah, true. I had to learn that though. I always tell my, it's like an inside joke. Like I always tell, like, I apologize for catching up late. Like, she was just more mature in the marriage. The more we've gone through, the more I understand. You know what I'm saying? It's messed up, but the more times we've been to the ER, the more times we've got back. It's crazy. The more times we started a new business, the more time I'm catching on more and more. Like, I'm really understanding I hate to say it, but the what a wife is, like the significance and the value. It just took me some time, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of it too. We don't necessarily value each other the way we should right when we come home. We don't move as such. I don't know that I moved as such. I'm definitely a better husband now, year 3 out, than year 1. I know that for a fact. And my goal is to keep being that way every year, just as a human being. But I think our strong suit is the fact that we know everything about one another. There's nothing we don't talk about. We find ways to joke about hard moments. We're different than maybe a lot of different couples where, you know what I'm saying, we do different things, I guess. I don't know, not no weird stuff. I'm just saying, like, she'll take trips. I'll take without each other. Like, we're just different. We're independent, but together, if that makes sense. Very much together, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's really more of a friendship and companionship thing, which is a strong suit of our marriage. I think the fact that we had to take time to learn each other mentally, and deal with each other, with each other's emotions and all that while I was incarcerated before the physical, is what gave us, the marriage that we've got. But it's not always like that. I've always been extremely transparent, honest, straightforward. We always had tough conversations, and that's how we grew. I knew my husband before he was locked up for 7 years for a crime in Georgia. I stayed by him. We was already married. We had 5 kids and now 4 grandchildren. That's history. Yeah, y'all got a whole tribe. Salute to the tribe. And anybody, man, with concerns to GDC, please email me. I'm put my email back up. Trying to get people together. Definitely start pushing emails to the DOJ, etc., and just start voicing concerns. It's extremely crazy. But I think Georgia, for real, and I don't think I'm saying that just because I'm down here, but it's got to be one of the most brutal systems right now. Not that it's some weird contest, but there's no control. They have no control. It's not safe in there. And it's crazy because you should be safe in prison, which society probably doesn't think about. Not the way that we do. But when you're hearing about guys, they can't go to sleep because their cell doors don't lock. That's crazy, right? You want your cell door to lock so you can sleep. Like, you want to be locked in the cell, but it don't lock. People can just walk in there. That's scary. But anyways, yeah, the relationships thing, and it's not just with a guy coming home to a woman, etc. It's friendships. It's dealing with those gaps where your friend's been gone 2 or 3 years, and you guys have continued to live out here. You guys have continued to move, etc. And yeah, that is sad out there. But it's the parent sibling thing. Like, I had to learn. I really learned, me and my mother always had a good relationship, but I had to learn how to be free around her again. You know what I'm saying? It was the weirdest thing. It was just weird. I had to learn how to live around the people that I love as a free person again. That's a weird thought, but it's a true thought. And I know I'm not the only one that had it, because I had a conversation with a couple of good brothers. They're like, yeah, because it's just different. You communicate, you express your love for your loved ones differently when you're in prison, because it's always limited. You're in a visitation room, or the phone calls, or whatever it is. It's just limited. Emails, whatever it is. But now you're out here, so you can take them out to eat. You can sit down and have a conversation with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just different, the interaction. That's why it's important to make sure, man, when it comes to your relationships, that you, especially when you're coming home, you're connected to people that got your best interests at heart. They aren't afraid to challenge you. If you're swerving, you might not be. You might be on point. You know what I'm saying? But you still want positive people around you. People that are trying to do good, trying to do better, so not just talking about it. You just said, now we were going through it with our son locked up in Kentucky. We were standing by him. Plus, I've been a Christian for so long. I pray and love Jesus. I trust him in all things. Yeah. It's weird this season, man. I was saying 2023 is just a weird season. A lot of people are going through it. And that's what I always got to remember. As bad as I might feel about my situation, somebody wasn't able to get out of bed today. Somebody wasn't able to eat today. Somebody, and I can't stop thinking about that, or at least taking the time to think about that every now and then. Because what happens is, if I feel like my problems are just my problems, I become limited in my thinking, and then I feel like I'm on an island, and I feel like it's just me and it's nobody else. But if I remind myself, hey, other people are going through it, because literally, you just look around, anybody you look at, somebody's going through something. Everybody's got something they're going through. It's not that it gives you comfort, because you don't want anybody to go through anything else, but it reminds you, it's like, okay, it's okay, because they're still going too. Okay, he's still going to work. Like, I had to still get up and go to work. I didn't feel like going to work. and I never missed a day. I called off on Thursday just to take like like a mental health day, I guess. I never take off, and I felt weird taking off, but hey, I had to do it. I had to catch a breather, man. Um, had to switch perceptions real quick. Had to look at things, from a different way, and realize, man, it's okay. Like there's other people that are still going. There's some people that couldn't go. You got brothers that are fighting to come home. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing, man. If you're going through it, stay focused. You have to keep going. If you feel like you can't do something, honestly, I'm willing to bet that there is something you can do. Um, there's always, some form of motion. When I say motion, some form of action, whether it's raising funds, so you can get a lawyer. I don't know, just doing anything, raising funds so you can do a social media campaign for your loved ones, hiring a paralegal, whatever it is. There's different things, writing letters, emails, contacting whoever, whatever it is. There's something that you can do. If there's something you can't do for your individual loved ones case, there's something that you can do for the grander scheme of things. That being said, it's 2023. We're going to have more conversations like this. There's going to be think tanks over there with Ignite Justice. You can email me. My email is going across the screen if you want to figure out how to get involved. Not just what we got going on here in Georgia, but just with Ignite Justice as a whole. The organization. Shout out to Bar Business. Shout out to just everybody that's moving in a positive way. Shout out to everybody that's advocating and supporting. Sometimes just supporting your loved one, just picking up the phone, just taking those rides to the prison for visitation gets overlooked. With salute to you as well. Just anybody that's in the trenches that's been impacted, that's a justice impacted person, from children to seniors. More than likely, if you're on this, you're justice impacted, but change can occur. It's weird. 2023 is weird. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on, especially in the political landscape and laws that they're passing and stuff, especially if you're down here in Georgia. But our voices can still be heard. We can still get together. We can still build. We can still unite. We can still connect. We can still do things that can shake the rafters, so to say, in the right way. We can challenge certain laws in the right way. We can influence vote in the right way. We can, essentially, we can cultivate our own people to put in political office or lawmakers. We can do a lot of stuff, but it's getting together, it's brainstorming, it's figuring out how, it's figuring out where you fit in. If you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not good at anything, well, you're on social media, so you can post stuff. That's something. You can spread the word. You can repost. There's always something. But start getting involved, start getting and connecting with groups. If you don't necessarily want to get connected with Ignite or anything, just look around. Just start Googling help organizations. If you're passionate, if you're not passionate necessarily about advocating for the rights of prisoners, etc., maybe it's mental health, maybe it's addiction support, whatever it is, get involved. The world is negative. It's a lot of negativity, but it doesn't have to be. And if we all do a little something, it'll end up to a lot. Again, thank you for everybody. I just want to hop up here and rant for a couple minutes, 36 minutes and counting, just to say, couple more comments coming in. It says 2023 is really crazy. It wasn't how I was raised. 2023 is definitely crazy. I thought 2020 was worse because of the pandemic and everything. But every time I think we're going to catch a breather, we don't catch a breather. We don't get a breather. But hopefully 2024 we get a breather. We'll see. Stay focused. Like I said, no scripts, no edits. This is the 100 TV checking in. Just wanted to get up here and rant, try to connect with y'all. Social media should be about connecting and networking. Salute to all the dope people I've met here on social media and all the strong voices and advocates and people that I've learned from. A lot of wise people up here. So hopefully you're using it for the right reasons, connecting, getting involved, all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, stay focused, stay free, stay progressive, and don't underestimate the change that you can make. We're going to start streaming more and more. Look for me on the Ignite Justice Georgia page as well. And if you'd like to get on any of the podcast live streams, etc., tell your story or the story of your loved one, hit me up. Email me. Email's still on the screen, etc. You got a help organization you want to talk about. If there's a law that needs to be passed, if there's just anything you want to talk about, the conditions of the prisons that you were in prior to you coming home and your experience there, hit me up. Let me know. Somebody's putting in the chat. Emily just said people need to know. People need to get involved. 85% are being released back in your communities. Why would you not want them to be rehabilitated? Which is what we're fighting for. Reentry, rehabilitation. Not just that, but a major thing that we're fighting for. You definitely should want to get involved with the fact that 85% of the people coming home, like myself, were in prison. Or 85% of the people that are in prison are coming home. So you want to be involved. You should be fighting for certain things to make sure that the communities are safe, because not everybody comes home focused. Not everybody comes home with resources. Not everybody comes home patient. Not everybody comes home with good mental health. So I can go down the list. So you should definitely want to be involved. Again, start connecting with whatever organization you feel passionate about. Do your homework. Do your research. Find out what the organization is passionate about. And ask yourself, is that a mission or objective that I can connect myself to, and start making an impact. Any questions, comments, all that, topics, suggestions, all that, man, don't forget to put them in the chats. And of course, salute the V100 TV, 1,000 community members plus, and all that good stuff. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, everything's growing. Can't do it without y'all. About to get some rest. Hopefully you guys are too. It's Saturday, so I don't know if y'all are not, but if you are going out, stay safe, stay out the way. Make smart decisions. And quote of the day, Jerry Rice said, if you want what other people don't, you got to do what other people want. And I believe that truly and wholeheartedly. On that note, signing off. Peace.